We get to see the drug addicts. We get to see what it's like out here on the streets, right here on my channel. You gotta constantly look over your shoulder for some nut job, some wing nut, some crazy. All these crazies that you guys are scared of, we're scared of them too. We also got the volatility of addiction. Addiction of every sort. Those of us out here who don't harbor those. Yes, I do admit I got my own addictions. I got instant coffee. I got an addiction to the caffeine because, well, I can't blame it on Jamie Curtis. But that's where I started drinking it, because that's what she drank, and I just didn't want to make a half a pot of coffee go to waste. I'd use it to try to go to sleep. She thought it was gross that I microwaved it. Yeah, same thing. Anyway, you get to see how... Alright, you see this? Because Lewis was there yesterday, and Cheryl. I was a lot safer in those places, because after going to those churches, having those churches hear those things being screamed, they don't understand the gravity of the situation. Good morning, making my morning YouTube video.
How's it? You alright?
Yeah.
Good morning. Yes,
Let me see. Don't lay down there. Somebody spat there, and I know it wasn't me. Just kidding, it was me. It was me hacking up a lung this morning. Man, this one's on drug addiction, alcoholism, kindness, and cruelty here in Tillamook. I was just explaining.
What you're digging up right now?
That's, do what?
That's what you're digging in?
That's what I'm talking about on my channel, yeah.
Wow. That's a tight one.
Well, we gotta fight this fight where we see it, don't we?
Ain't that the truth? I'm tired of people putting us down. And we always get put down. And we're not the ones that put down. We do everything right. We try and help people with everything.
Try is the key word there. It doesn't always work, but that's the thing about someone's heart being in the right place. Of course it's in your chest. That's where it's supposed to be.
Ain't that the truth?
Now, when people say your heart's in the right place, what they're really saying is that you have good intentions. But there's a lot that stands in the way of intentions and follow-through.
You're always trying to help everyone.
Well, I noticed that you and Cheryl hooked me up with water yesterday. Because of that, I was able to make my coffee. I already had the sugar and the instant milk.
Need some hot water?
Nah, I drink it cold.
Cold?
Yeah, usually when I get Starbucks, I let it get cool before I drink it.
I like that Starbucks stuff.
I like their internet.
That's good.
I like their internet. All coffee tastes like burnt beans, which is why I sugar the shit out of it. But yeah, I was just gonna point out all the good stuff that you guys have done already, you know, and that
we bear no wrong.
Indeed. Good intentions.
Yeah, we try and help people.
As far as trying to call some of these places today, I'm not sure how well that's going to work out. But of course, that's one of the things about this situation, is that there's people who are trying to do good by me. And we got that other guy over there, the one that we recorded that had ill intentions.
You got Becky?
I do. Let me look for it. Absolutely. I got this tobacco from you, didn't I?
Usually I got baggy.
You pulled out your pouch and give me some, and then that was like a week ago. That was before you lost your wallet.
Oh, that billboard?
Yeah.
I can't believe I lost it. I think that's about the third time. Thank
Let
you
me
so
get you some
much.
papers too. Yeah.
Well, it's a nice Bronco.
I had a homeless fella over there hook me up with enough change to get myself that packed up rolling papers. So be thankful, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna hook you up some. I usually do.
Anyway, one of the things about drug use and also
What about that
alcoholism is
dude, that white rig with the dog?
oh,
You
I'm
got
not
more
sure.
videos of him?
Uh, yeah, I do. I
I
have
want to
videos
see
of
him.
him threatening other people as well.
I want to see him.
Well, I was going to show them
I
you and
got
Cheryl in
something
a little
to, I
bit.
got
Absolutely.
something to say. Yeah, but I gotta say it to the right person.
That's true, but it's actually going to end up being a lot of people that need to be called because people just don't want to listen, even if it's more than one
If they
person.
see that,
But more than one person, exactly, if they see it. And that's why it's important to have another person.
can you play one of him?
I can play a whole bunch of him.
He's creepy. What's the creepiest one?
Um,
You got one that's seriously creepy?
you didn't even let me finish playing that one last night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. You know, that's one of the things about oxygen deprivation. You lose track and get ADHD. Everybody does. That's one of the things about trying to keep my situation together is
so
that
much for the smoke.
it's insanely complicated, and most of the people that offer to help, they got their own problems, you know. Like I understand alcoholism firsthand. I fucking lived through that shit.
I drink it, but I'm cutting it out. I'm about to quit. I just can't cold turkey it. It'll kill me.
I get that. Absolutely.
It'll kill me. My lady knows it too.
Well, one of the things
I'm cutting way out compared to what I used to.
one of the things with my situation is
here.
that
I gave him a meal last night.
I try to get these services and places to understand what the homeless people understand, and that's that this shit gets people killed.
What?
And it has gotten people killed. False accusations and fucking trying to go to the police alone and having to call all these services and having all of your money eaten up going to all these services that are supposed to help, but none of them help. And they all send you around in circles. Round and round we go. Where she stops, don't nobody know. Did you hear that velociraptor? Just kidding, it was a belch.
Ooh, that sounds funny.
Yeah, I can't tell people it's a
What is
velociraptor
that?
without them pretending like I'm like delusional or schizophrenic or something. Oh my god, he thinks he's a velociraptor. He thinks there's velociraptors. He must have watched Jurassic Park. Now he thinks he's in Jurassic Park.
It's a dinosaur, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I asked.
Yeah. Well, one of the things is whether people have good intentions or mean intentions, you know, their addictions do get in the way and they do affect the others around them, but that doesn't mean they don't intend well.
I'm sitting on the ground.
Yes, you are.
Usually everyone. Wait. No. I'm just sitting here.
I noticed.
Is the moon still out?
I also noticed you drink Old E.
Yeah, I love Old.
Yeah. I drink Skull vodka.
Vodka.
Yeah.
My mom's she drinks vodka.
Actually, the one that I drank the most was Barton's vodka. There's a couple guys that lived right down the street from me named Larry and Doug.
Yeah.
And they kept me drunk all through high school. I'd give them, they said if I give them enough for, well, all right, Doug drank beer. And Larry drank whatever he could get his hands on. But, or no, maybe it was the other way around. Both of them were heavy alcoholics, though. So, I mean, if all they could get their hands on was the other, they'd drink it. But yeah, if I was able to get them enough for them to each get their alcohol, they'd bring me some. I'd get drunk and I'd go to school. At lunchtime, I'd have myself a healthy lunch of unhealthy shit. Usually a couple of them frappuccinos.
Frappuccinos.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I had a job. I fucking cleaned nasty old men's fucking spittoons.
Yeah.
I worked at Cabela's corporate, and almost every dude in there fucking chewed. It was gross. You're pulling a trash bag out of their trash can, and it's got like a hole in the bottom. So when you pull it out, there's this nasty chaw syrup dripping out or friggin' pouring out sometimes. It's so gross.
Shit.
But then there's the dependency and the being stuck in a vehicle by yourself, even if there's other people nearby.
Yeah.
Last night you really needed attention. I tried to give it to you best I could. I was fucking freezing though. I don't have that resistance.
I got a hard time with that.
I noticed.
I got a real hard time with that.
I was worried about you freezing for damn sure, and so was she. You know, it is annoying as situations can get. It's even more annoying when you get a dead body at the end of it. That's not a cool result. So
I know I almost died in there. I died.
Well, you didn't almost die last night. You were nowhere near dying last night. You were fine. We just needed to make sure, because if you wandered out into the road at the wrong time, don't get me wrong, traffic here is jack shit, so you're not really having to worry too much. But damn, you was falling down in the road and just laying there. When I pulled around the corner and got my lights on you, you were able to get up pretty decent and get over to the side of the road. Yep.
Oh wow.
And you came over.
I went down hard then, I guess. So.
Well, you were able to go sit by the fire hydrant there, roll yourself a cigarette. And that's when Cheryl brought over the shopping cart so you could use it as a walker.
Oh yeah, a little buggy.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that buggy. They were. Yeah, my hips, my knees.
Yeah, I started play on my recording, and as soon as I fucking noticed you were laying down, I'm like, oh Jesus fuck, I hope we don't need a fucking hospital ride.
Yeah,
But I
don't
woke
like
up
those.
this morning.
I don't like those. They stick stuff in me.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. And they put stuff inside me.
Well, when you woke me up this morning, I checked the time, and when I checked the time, I noticed it was still recording on video. I got 3 hours of sleep, and it recorded 3 hours of me sleeping, apparently. Yeah, so if you want to see what Cheryl and I did for you, although you can probably remember it decent, you weren't like super sloshed.
I just went down.
About 3 times, maybe 4.
I go down sometimes. It hurts.
Well, like I was telling you earlier,
I can't walk most of the time. I gotta.
It reminded me of a toddler escaping from a playpen.
I gotta.
Like we were trying to get you to bed, you kept on falling down in the road, so we was trying to get you to bed, and you was trying to run away. I know where the juice boxes are. I'm not staying here. Alright, I got some nut job getting on my YouTube channel and fucking stalking me. He made a profile called Sean David, and then he's typing, what is it? All sorts of mean stuff.
Mean stuff? That's great.
Yeah, one of them, alright, the guy who killed Natalie Bollinger, this guy's pretending he made a Joseph Michael Lopez one to harass me. This one right here, this guy calls himself Sean David, and this is what he keeps typing. Like, this is such up shit. Screenshots of it to prove that it's actually happening, and then I go, you see right here, I go hide user on this channel, and it gets rid of it. You know, I don't need to deal with their assholery. What I'm here to do is try to show evidence of the truth, not fucking deal with assholes, you know?
Right.
But you get to see that shit actually happens. And that's one of the things about going through this, trying to turn this shit into the police, having to do it alone, and every person out here telling me about the time they tried to turn stuff into the police alone. But you know what? A lot of them remember being in houses, and they remember being able to turn shit into the cops too.
Right.
You remember being in a house and you'd call the cops on fucking just any goddamn thing if you wanted to.
Yeah, we get fishing games.
Fucking, you got your neighbor's house is on fire, you can call 911 and they'll actually send somebody out to do something other than tell you that it's not their fucking job.
Then we get fishing games. That's all we had. We're out in the stick.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that situation last night.
We was always,
Of course. All right, so
last night?
for my YouTube viewers, just so you know, he's the guy who gave me the kayak on top of my vehicle. Free of charge. Cost me absolutely nothing. He just wanted to get it off his vehicle because he was agitated with somebody. And, you know, I've been that way with some stuff too.
He a bonehead. I don't know
But
why
you also
he's
notice
the way
that
he is.
his addictions don't stop him from being kind. They don't stop him from treating me like a person or trying to treat me like a person. The things that he's not able to do, that doesn't stop him from talking to me like I am a human being. He doesn't talk down to me like I'm a dog. He doesn't talk at me like I'm a fucking idiot.
You're my best friend.
Well, you just met me. That's kind of strange.
You're my best friend. That's how I feel. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well, that's kind of how it was in Hardin, Montana. I want to tell you how good those folks was to me, despite the fact that I'm a, well, I won't use that word, but because I'm a Caucasian, you know, you'd think that there would be some racism and hatred and animosity for that up there, but no, it was just a bunch of people who had a lot of love in their heart.
Yeah.
I mean, they tell you, hey, this is how it is. You know, this may be my sister, but you know what? She may not be that close. I may call her my cousin.
Right.
This person may be my cousin, but you know what? She also my auntie because she helped to raise me.
Right.
This person, she may be my auntie, but she's my mom.
Right.
And then, of course, this is my brother, this is my brother, this is my brother, and we are all brothers. We are all
Right.
sisters. And fucking that's how
I
it was.
call you my bro.
You do.
I do. I accept you as bro. You're my bro.
And you mean well. And you mean well.
I hear you, bud. There ain't no bread out. We gotta get some crackers out. I think we got some crackers. I love feeding the birds or anything. Ooh, that little creepy crawly was trippy.
Oh, I get them in my vehicle all the time.
It was like a horseshoe.
I started a pretty decent spider collection there for a while in here.
Oh, good golly.
I hadn't been able to, the whole time I was in Hood
them?
River, I wasn't able to pull my stuff out and organize it. You know, I didn't have a place to do it really well. A state vehicle.
You see that wave at everyone. You see that wave at me. Everyone. It's kind of weird. I'm sitting on the ground.
Well, it makes sense. I would hope that even though you was going to help me today, that maybe with the drinking, it might not be a good idea for now. And I accept things as they are.
Oh, excuse me.
I can smell it.
What?
Your belch.
Oh, E.
Oh my God, that is wrong.
Oh, I got this.
God.
I got this picture. It's called Cruelty Rhonda.
Oh my God, I just breathed in my mouth. Oh.
I'm sorry. I gotta go with my hooks.
I probably shouldn't have said it like that. It's more funny than anything else, but damn.
save schools. I was gonna give this. I want to give it to the guy in the corner who did his head, but it says save schools. There's a blue ribbon. He's a teacher for oh, alternative school. That's what they put me in.
Last night, you weren't in much danger of anything severe, although I honestly should have called the hospital or called 911 when I saw you laying on the ground. I wasn't sure if you hit your head or not.
Oh, that hurts when I do that. Oh, it knocked me out. It'll kill me. I hit myself.
Well, it's been a while, and I knew I should have checked that last night. If you'd like to go to the hospital, I can go with you. I'm not sure how well it'll go with the alcohol consumption. They might just treat you like an addict.
You sit there with your hand on my hand at a hospital.
Well, you know what?
I don't like to go to hospital. I'm scared of doctors. I'm scared of dentists. You know, I had one. His last name was Hater, and he pulled one of my tooth out. Oh, good golly, it hurt.
I have 0 teeth in my head.
It hurt.
Not a
I
single
pulled
tooth.
one out, and I went and shoved it back in, and all the blood was coming out. I was covered in blood. My cellie, he was sitting there. He turned his back to he was looking at the wall. And I was just bleeding. I was trying to shove it back in. I was like, fuck it. And I just cracked it off.
I got a question for you. How many years you been going to AA? I know it's a personal question and you don't have to answer it.
I have a lot of years. A lot of years. It's got to be the right one. You know, some of them.
It's got to be real support.
They're different. Yeah, the people are different.
You notice that a lot of black folks been rallying the whole BLM thing. Black Lives Matter. They absolutely do.
Raw.
You notice how they organize and they do it the right way.
I'm not.
But we never get to do it the right way. We never ever stick together. There's no solidarity. We got these sick perverts out here, and we just have to not only deal with them out here on our streets, but also the fact that we get treated like we are them because everybody knows that they're out here too.
Shit on, pervert. You think my booty looks like a booty? It looks like it.
Oh my god, dude, your pants were past your butt last night.
Looks like a pussy.
I wasn't looking.
I've been raped so much. It's not even.
Well, trying to get that stuff turned in,
Yeah,
that's the thing about sexual assault is that there is no statute of limitations.
Even my brother. You're raped so much.
So what do you think? Do you think marijuana is a gateway drug, or do you think trauma is the gateway drug?
Gateway? Now that's a weird situation. How do you say what about gateway? What is gateway?
Now we're getting into the philosophical thing.
What is gateway?
Well, that's your initial introduction into the life of sin, I suppose.
You're in
the gateway drug. Before getting into anything else, what did you start off with?
To sin.
Because we discussed this last night.
Yeah.
We actually had this discussion last night. Well, somewhat similar, I guess.
Damn, I ain't got no back end.
Yeah, I got rolling papers and I got tobacco here, so I could let you roll another one.
Really?
Absolutely.
All right.
You know what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Here's what I got back here on me.
One of the things about people trying to drink or drug their sorrows away is that a lot of times it gets them stuck in their sorrows. That's why
Yeah,
a
that's
lot of
not.
people, when they take acid and they don't come back, it makes them crazy, and then they're scared for
I
the
have a
rest of their
friend, he
lives.
took 100 hits.
The reason that happens, well, taking 100 hits to do it
He
too.
did.
But the reason it happens is because they go into a trip with a really bad frame of mind. It's like scaring somebody right before it really kicks in.
We always call him Shaky.
I just stay away from them hallucinogens. You can avoid that complication altogether. But then when your friends are doing it and they're tripping and they want to come see you at 2 o'clock in the fucking morning, and you're like, oh my God, these guys are seriously at my door. They've beaten on every window in the house. They're yelling my name, and I have to do something before the cops get here. All right, guys, come in and sit down and fucking behave yourselves. Holy Christ, what the fuck makes you think it's okay to come over to fucking Lodgepole, Nebraska and fucking beat on my door and hoot and holler this time of morning? But you can't say that because you might give them a bad trip, and if they have a bad trip, they might not come out of it right.
Ain't that true? He was stuck for about 10 years.
So then you're trying to fucking play maestro.
We call him Shaky.
You gotta, when that happened, dude, oh my God, that was the most fucked up situation. So there I am. I got 3 dudes at my house, 4 dudes at my house that are all tripping, and they've been screaming and hooting and hollering, and it takes about half an hour, 45 minutes for the cops to get there if they decide to respond at all, because they got to drive all the way there from Sydney. So, of course, I'm waiting for Chris Stegman to come home, but he's off trying to, I don't know, chase tail somewhere. So when I see the cops are coming into town, and you can't see that from where my place is, I had to abandon these tripping kids at my house and hope that they had a good trip while I went and ran scrimmage with the cops. They saw me and pulled over and said, "We got a call. Somebody was down there screaming and saying your name." I'm like, "Yeah." They were screaming and saying my name. It was some friends coming to see me and wish me well and blah blah blah. I didn't tell them that they weren't at my house any longer. I didn't tell them they were all fucked up, although I'm sure he could probably guess it. And then I went back and I made sure that those guys were all still well. They were busy sitting on my carpet, picking through the carpet, pulling out these little insects that were in there. Because, like, it was abandoned for quite a while before we moved in. And even with all the work we did, those things were still in there. And that's what they were doing, tripping balls, fucking picking through my damn carpet like a couple of tweakers, or like a bunch of tweakers, except it was bugs. I'm like, oh man. Well, at least they're having a good time.
The moon's still out.
It is.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, you think I should try to see if I can put it on my YouTube channel?
It's still weird.
Let's see if we can show them the moon.
Why is it out? Why is the moon out? It shouldn't be out. Maybe the stars would be out. That would be gnarly in daytime. That is weird. We're rotating. The world's rotating.
Alright, I'm trying to get my... Oh, there it goes.
The world's rotating. We're rotating somehow. The whole world's spinning. It's a big ball. We're on a big ball.
There's the moon.
Isn't it gnarly? In the daytime?
Oh man, it didn't work right.
What is that? That's 2:30.
It's got the messages.
It's about 2:30.
Up, so I'm
3 o'clock.
Now? It can't be that late.
No. Where's the moon?
Oh, you mean in the sky in relation to north? No, that would be... Isn't that north? Isn't that north right there?
It's...
No, right there. That direction. Is that direction north?
No. Yeah, over there.
Right there? Alright, if that's north, then that would be About 10 o'clock, I guess.
It's 10:22. Let's see. Oh, wait. 10.
It's 10 o'clock, yeah.
100109.
But yeah, there's a lot of people out here with ill intent. Like I said, there's a lot of people with a lot of different addictions out here, but just like you guys in houses. I know people with the exact same addictions that live in houses. The drugs that are trickling down, all that stuff
Who's
comes
that
down from
home?
people in houses.
Oh, we gotta go care.
When it comes to people that you want to victimize, these are the folks that you guys choose to victimize. You know, you can get away with it. You know, you can heckle them and pick on them and, well, do what you choose with them.
She got some pretty hair.
Oftentimes, you know, it's like babysitting an infant. Sometimes it's like babysitting a 16-year-old who is unruly and likes to beat on things. We're talking about mostly adults, though. Adult men and adult women with adult men and women's strength.
He's gonna be with this store. Good.
And for those of us who aren't out here using, who are being abused by a lot of people out here who are using, and then we have to rely on people who are using if we don't want to go in alone. But then you also have to understand that sometimes that can be a detriment to your ability to get someone to listen or understand. It doesn't mean that they don't have good intent. Brett Roloff, you guys got to hear him. He's on my channel. The one where he's digging through his own feces for a bag of meth that he's overdosing on the bag of meth that he swallowed. He should know that it's going to be an empty bag coming out the other side. But yet, myself and his girlfriend in the video trying to explain that to him. You know, we're trying to closely monitor him. Meanwhile, I'm not a user, but she is and he is. They're going to help me to turn this stuff in. But, of course, Brett and Amber's addictions just kept getting in the way. Best of intentions, but not much follow through. And then there's also situations where somebody wanted to help, but all right, you guys got to hear Joshua Eichelberger. He's not a happy drunk. He's an angry, angry person who is hateful and screams and curses at 3-year-olds. Right? And that's verified by Tabitha on my channel. Yes, that was her niece, or sorry, not her niece, her granddaughter and her daughter, because it was, Tabby's been having kids for a lot of years. So her oldest daughter had a 3-year-old daughter, and Tabby had a daughter around the same time. So her daughter was 3 years old, and yeah, Joshua Eichelberger was calling those 3-year-olds cunts, like at the butt crack of fucking early in the morning. He's literally the only person in the house who wasn't contributing. Yes, sir.
For what? I got puppy dog like this one.
Lewis, is your friend with the truck here? I might be able to barter and trade for some assistance in putting the starter in.
This. Oh, I just put a
Or like you
starter
put
in.
I need a fuel pump. I can't. It was working, and now I can't get it to come on at all. You know, my battery's dead, so I still have to sleep out of there. And I just need to get my car going back home.
Where are you from?
I'm from Illinois, actually.
Holy shit.
Right.
How far away is your vehicle?
Right over there. On the street, right by the center market.
You know that red church is gonna help, and there's this one over here on the corner over here.
The First Christian.
He's really cool.
I don't know what to do. I don't know.
Tell him that you're trying to.
Yesterday, because they said they'd help people. Because I've been trying to get away from this motherfucker that was beating on me, fucking stabbed me and shit. Fucking
Jesus,
Ooh.
fuck.
Fuck stabbed
Yes,
me
sir.
here, fucking beat me with the fucking hammer. This dude, I was.
That's fucking evidence enough for me. Holy
They
shit.
wouldn't do nothing. They said no, I have to have a kid or some shit.
Holy
I'm like,
fuck.
I'm just trying to get away from the situation. I want to go back home, and I'm fucking now my car won't work, and people won't even fucking help. You know, it's bullshit.
You drink?
What?
You drink?
No, I smoke.
Well,
Well, I'm glad you don't drink.
Yeah, I hate drinking.
yeah, I got a problem with it. I'm cutting it out.
Yeah, I smoke dope though, so I'm not even better than
Yo.
anybody else.
I ain't even got my weed.
Well,
on
you're
me.
still a human being.
Yeah, and I just fucking wanted a little bit of help. I don't ever ask for help, and like, nobody will fucking help me now. It's bullshit.
I'm gonna help
I
you.
read that the fucking domestic violence people gave me a paper saying that
Yeah,
them
well.
fuckers would help me, and I went up there and they won't do shit unless you have a kid.
You should have a
I have a
kid.
dog.
That's what you get for having a penis. That's
Yeah.
your fault.
It's not fair.
You're also pretty light skinned. That must be your
We're
fault as
born
well.
that way.
What?
I said
We're
you're also
born
pretty
that
light
way.
skinned. If you were dark skinned, that would be your fault
Fuck
too.
up, dude.
My
I
cousin
don't.
does.
It smells so bad.
She's over in number 2 apartments over here. Lisa.
She danced right now.
Tom. He can't get up. He was like 300 pounds.
I need to smoke so fucking bad. I'm just depressed.
She's got stuff. She's got stuff. She got what?
Would you walk over there with me? Can you walk right now? I just fucking depressed, man. I'm already hurt. I'm already had to fucking leave the person I love more than anything because of a piece of shit. You could hit me.
Tell you.
Now I don't have fucking nothing. I'm broken.
You know how it is.
I help a bit different.
You know how it is.
Up, dude. I'm feeling it. Giving the fuck up.
Nah, you can't give up, bro.
I came here. The only reason I came to this town because that place over there was supposed to help people, and I went there and they fucking gave me a fucking shirt that didn't fit, some huge ass pants, and fucking told me that they weren't gonna give me no gas, and that's why my fuel pump went out because I didn't have enough gas in my car. And them fuckers told me on I messaged them. They said they were gonna help me. I get here and they don't have no gas money for me or nothing. I was like, fucking Jesus, man.
I don't know.
What do they expect people to do? And the only fucking fuel pump like 200 some bucks. And I don't have any money. I do odd jobs and I can't find any fucking odd jobs around here.
Yeah, I realized parts were a lot more expensive for my car than I was
There is
originally
one.
told.
There is
Some
one.
of them are super cheap, but not all of them.
Working credit
I was
card.
just gonna go there and ask them to see the fuel pump and run off.
Tillamook Lawn Care.
What?
Tillamook Lawn Care.
What's that?
Richard
Oh, they have
Swink.
jobs?
Richard Swink.
The only thing I've
Yeah,
stolen in
he'll
the
pay you,
last
but
10
he's
years
gonna
is the
cut it in
Quran.
half what you get paid on the job.
I'm pretty sure it's against the
Right.
Quran to steal something.
Yeah, I don't want to steal nothing.
He's over at Idaho.
I wouldn't recommend it.
I mean, you do it right now. He'd probably like it right now because there's a lot of yards. Because you got Beaver, you got Bay City, and these yards. You go all over the place. But Richard's like Tillamook Lawn Care.
I don't know where
I'm
to
not
send you
joking.
that's not
I'm
going to
not
run you
joking.
around
I'm
in
not
circles, especially if
You
you're
will.
on dope.
You'll
And they'll
get
be able
some
to
money.
tell. Most of these people are trained
You
to be
will.
able to
You
tell
like
that.
to run a
I
push.
got a bilge pump that's
Well,
brand new in
we're-
the package if somebody trade something for that. It's
Well,
like an 800 gallon per hour pump.
I can go with you to the services, which will increase your chances of getting help. But if you're doped out your gourd, that's not going to work.
No, but I do need to smoke. I don't get doped. I don't get high like that. I've been smoking it so long, it doesn't get me high. You know what I'm saying? I don't get all weird.
Yeah, it's like a cigarette.
Yeah.
Natalie thought the same thing.
I know, I really don't though. I don't.
Christine thought the same thing.
Number
Danny thought the
2
same
over at
thing.
the apartments.
Where's the apartments down that way?
Yeah, by the church. Number 2, it's on the corner.
Are these churches open?
I don't know about these, but
Is there a big
might be.
church somewhere?
But right there
Okay.
in the apartments,
Thank you.
right on the
Thank
corner.
you guys for being nice to me.
Her name's Lisa. It's my,
You're still a human
it's
being,
my
sir.
cousin.
Okay.
It's my cousin.
Alright, bro.
She does that stuff.
Thank you for helping me.
For sure. She'll hook you up. You're welcome. I don't do shit every once in a while. Clear and stuff. You know what I mean?
I never do. When
Oh, I tried it. Oh, Good
when a guy here
golly.
in Tillamook gave me a nugget because I was having a bad day and I noticed there was crystals in it, I was going to turn it into the cops.
I want
The
to
thing
eat.
is, just like you are not a mean drunk, he was not a mean meth addict. And I talked to him and I explained to him that I found crystals in that bud, so I didn't smoke any of it, and that I was going to call the police about it and have them find out what it was that was in there. Because if it was fentanyl, you know, I mean, that's some fucked up shit.
Fentanyl?
Pot's legal.
Yeah.
So now, like when people give me pot, I don't smoke it. I'll fucking set it to the side and later on I'll throw it away. I'm not going to risk somebody fucking smoking fentanyl just because I was trying to be nice or because I was trying to accept a gift. Because people always want to give me weed. They're trying to be nice, they give me weed.
Right.
But the problem is, if I'm finding crystals in the pot they're giving me, it don't matter if it's legal to smoke pot or not. I don't consent to having
How do you
crystals
get
in my pot.
crystals in your weed?
The guy had put it in his meth bag.
What?
Yeah, it's not a smart thing to do, but when you're twacked out your gourd like that, you don't hardly know what's fucking going on.
That's weird as hell, bro.
Yeah,
That's weird as hell.
I got so many friends dead from that shit, and I'm supposed to just pretend it ain't like
That's what
that.
they're doing up there in everyone up there.
You know, and here's one of
And
the
now
things
they're asking
about
for
addicts is that
booze.
no matter how much they say they're gonna help you, you know, they need help themselves, and that's what you end up doing. You end up taking care of people who was gonna help you,
Right.
and they can't help their addictions, and they don't realize how it affects others, how much it hurts them. And then there's ones that want to, oh no, I'm good. They want to give it to God, but after years and years of giving it to God, they've still got it.
Tobacco. It's weird. It's been happening.
They don't have a support network in real life. Or they get into that part where,
that's weird.
You know, the oxygen deprivation makes them selfish. Not intentionally, but they just end up with a inability to comprehend for the most part what's actually going on or the consequences of their actions. I've been reading about that God since I was 6 years old. So, well, 5, actually.
She's been watching me.
Yeah, and rightly so. She cares about you and she sees what you're going through, and she's going through it too.
I ain't going nowhere.
She loves you, you know.
I ain't moving. I ain't going nowhere.
I mean, I saw what she did last night, but she was willing to go through at her age to make sure that you were okay, that you don't stumble out into the road.
I can't be doing that.
You're absolutely right, but you do it anyway.
What I see, I'm going a different way. But
well, you take criticism well, and you don't get violent.
I'm trying to go here, but
you're doing good.
You know, I have a hard time.
I know.
I'm always moving to the other side. You know, I don't go one way. I go the other way. And that's what primary says. You gotta be careful.
My evidence is important, and I'm going to lose it all because I can't pay the bill. I can't pay the bill because I don't have the help that I need. I help a lot of people. That guy over there that was shouting at me, yeah, something needs to be done about that. But at the same time, if he was able to sober up a bit and get his head straight, I'd be fine with helping him. If he came up to me today and said that his life was at risk, I would help him.
Oh, that's how I am too. Charles like that too.
Well, it's tough to do that through addiction, though.
I cut this out.
I noticed that you haven't touched it in about 20 minutes. You're doing good on that.
I cut it out. I don't want.
It does hurt the people that love us, though.
Ooh, there we go.
I remember waking up one morning. I was living with a guy named Brandon Jeffson.
Yeah. Right.
And apparently he had wanted to spar the night before, and I'd beaten him up accidentally because I wasn't as drunk as he was. Well, I woke up the next day with my legs locked in place because I was living on a love seat and had to sleep in the fetal position, and apparently I overexerted myself while I was drunk.
Right.
When I turned 21, I drank a whole bunch of tequila, a whole 175 of it, all to my head, and I didn't puke for 15 hours. I was begging my roommate, Jeremiah Jensen, to shoot me. That's when I quit drinking. I went to an AA meeting and I listened to a bunch of fucking whiners complaining about poor them. They destroyed a bunch of people's lives. Poor them. And then I was like, fuck this. I'm not gonna fucking listen to these goddamn wine tits and this fucking thing again. If I have one more fucking drink, I will come back to an AA meeting and I don't drink. There's no way I'm gonna sit through a room full of that bullshit and have them call it support.
And
When you're being abused and that's why you're fucking drinking, trying to drown it out.
plant fire in my fuel.
Well, the important thing is,
There's fire.
of the stuff that I needed help with today, with you drinking, you're not going to be able to help me with it, at least not this morning.
Sorry.
And also, I'm kind of afraid to leave Cheryl here because, I mean, you're not easy to pick up.
It took 5 minutes. They were right here somewhere.
Well, me and
And they were
Cheryl were
laughing.
able to do it last night, but
They were laughing.
I'm afraid to get out of my vehicle. I might fall over. My back hurts bad and my legs are tingly.
Right. I understand that. You know, I got pains. I can't deal with them. I deal with them, but I don't like to deal with them. They hurt so bad. You know, when I move them and stuff.
Well, you see the difference between you and that guy there. You're both addicted to something, but one of you is nice to me and one of you ain't. That other guy who's on meth, even though he gave me marijuana that had meth in it, now I got it so that I can have my own pot if I need it.
Right.
And I only need it if I need to get in with the homeless community because they don't trust anybody who doesn't either fucking smoke weed, drink alcohol, or fucking
drink
smoke
beer.
meth.
I would drink beer. Right. I usually have.
But the guy explained to me he didn't do it on purpose. He said he was sorry for that. I accepted it. It's not like the guys in Hood River who poisoned me, and that's what it is. That's what the charge is here in here in Oregon is poison. It's potentially attempted manslaughter or attempted murder also, but I don't think we should go that far. Dude, he put a bunch in there. I was fucked up. It was a hot day, and I took a big fucking gulp before I tasted the chemicals. Holy shit, there was a lot in there. If I'd have drank the whole thing, it would have killed me.
That's great.
But also, you see how going in there with somebody who's drunk isn't going to help me. It isn't going to give a positive image enough for them to want to listen.
Ow.
Might result in you getting put in the drunk tank, despite the fact that obviously you're not violent, you're not looking for violence, you're not a hateful person.
Oh no. No, I wish I had my backpack.
Well, I'm running swiftly out of mine too.
Ain't got one on me.
I gotta
I'm always smoking.
I gotta try to find help turning this in.
Dude! She got a new outfit on.
Well,
Send them out. Oh, she got straight on boys.
I don't even. Are you talking about Somebody over there at the
She's at the
church.
crosswalk. Oh, she's going across.
Oh, the lady with the walker.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
going
I didn't
across.
see her because where I'm sitting, there was a telephone pole.
She's a
bush.
sweetheart. She's a sweetheart. Yeah,
I see her now, though.
she's a sweetheart. She is.
Well, one of the things, like with Brett Roloff, with him digging through his own poop, he was going to help me, but he was addicted to meth. Hell of a nice guy, but just his addictions prevented him from even comprehending what was going on around him sometimes.
Right.
And there's Shannon Alvarado. She's, she's not a, well, she is a mean drunk, but that all depends. If her boyfriend got drunk with her and had sex with her, she was a happy drunk.
Oh, talking about sex. Oh, sure.
If she was just drinking by herself, then she started arguments and fights with her boyfriend over insane shit. But also, I had to be afraid of her. Like when she was trying
What
to.
happened was
I don't see that's alcoholic. It's you stuck
got
on
a bunch
subjects
of
like
it,
that.
huh?
No, I don't have sex. It's gross.
It's weird.
Sex is, or me not liking it.
I don't understand. I mean, it's a creation.
Who the hell would want to bring people into this world? That's insanity right there. Who would want to be a parent in this world? Well, you think you're going to teach your kids to fix the world if you ain't fixing it? That's the folly of every parent.
That's a baby coming in.
It is a baby coming in, and I have already been to prison for protecting people's fucking babies, all right? I know all about that shit. So they trying to turn in my abusers. They're not just my abusers. They abuse others, and there was children involved in nearly all these situations, and in many of them, these children were being abused.
So I can,
It's Shannon Alvarado's. They weren't being abused. They were just subject to having to see that abuse between her and her boyfriend when she was drunk.
And have sex and still be friends.
Well, I don't know. I try not to focus on sex. But see, I noticed that not just, I say that sex boils brains, but it's not just sex. It's just the thought of sex boils brains. Word. And then people don't.
It's weird. It's weird.
Don't do anything effective because they're constantly vying for power and some sort of sexual game. Like, you can't just come straight out about it. But also, we're told that only men can't take no for an answer, and that's bullshit. There's a lot of women who won't take no for an answer. And if you put your foot down and say absolutely not, then you get to deal with some incredibly vindictive bullshit that no man would get away with. Well, unless he's super pretty and super rich.
I don't know about that. That's weird. That's crack. So I'll tell you, if you want to be like that with
there's a lot of people who help my predators get away.
That with my lady. It's like, oh, fuck you. I'm going to tear your ass down. I go, shit, she'll be mad. But I don't want you to fuck my lady's life up. Sure.
And that's important.
That's how you gotta be.
Well, a lot of times people use somebody else in their life as an excuse to be a coward. And that's where many of my people ended up showing their true colors.
I know goddamn coward. I try to do the best I can for everyone.
Well, the area I'm from, they still count coup.
Well, I'd be dead.
Not on my account. A lot of times people don't understand the importance of what's going on around them. And sometimes people just get to the point where they're like, fuck it. I just want to forget it for 20 minutes or croak. Yep, there's that too.
That's my croak.
That's one of the things about, well, alcohol is that it's depressive in nature. That's one of the worst things about an alcohol addiction.
I,
Plus, a lot of these other addictions, you're not going to die if you're cut off from the drugs. But if you have an alcohol addiction, then the withdrawals could kill you. The
yeah,
seizures,
Dad, like 6 times.
you know, Ran Ingersoll's dead.
I
She
don't
was a
want to
pretty
do it
heavy
again.
alcoholic.
If I do, I don't want to come back.
Anna Hunka, she might have drank herself to death, but it seems to me that she was probably beaten to death. Bludgeoned with a blunt object or pushed over. Her ex-husband was very violent.
You need a cigarette.
I think is there enough in here? There's not even enough in here for a cigarette, but you can try it.
I'm going to find something in my rig.
Well, I could go try to find more tobacco. I do need to.
You watch my brew?
I'd appreciate it if you took it with you since it's broad daylight.
Ow.
I don't want to get in trouble for open container being as I don't drink. Well, I got the tobacco and rolling paper.
Bro.
All right.
Right. Alright.
Here you go.
Shit. Stop. My system. Not working. There we go. A little slow. Maybe. Yeah. So, we'll be. I don't think I got anything to drink. Who cut my line? Fucking someone cut my line. I'm not sure. My hook. Shit. So sharp there. Someone did. You see my lines? Someone cut my lines. Come here, look. Someone cut my lines. I gotta replace them. Yeah. Who the fuck cut that? That's bullshit.
I hurt really bad. I'm still in my vehicle because I hurt really bad.
Right. Someone cut my lines.
Hey, Lewis. I'll show that I try to get help. Let's get back to the topic at hand before I piss myself. You know, there's a lot of addicts out here. There's a lot of addicts in houses. There's a lot of sober people out here, and there's a lot of sober people in houses. But you draw the line at the house. those who don't have houses are not allowed. They're not allowed to be sober. They're not allowed to be drunk. They're not allowed to be on drugs. They're not allowed to make a police report. For me, trying to find somebody sober who's not too cowardly to even look, who doesn't procrastinate until there's no longer any point. The guy who stopped by earlier, he wanted to score some drugs. I'm not okay with that. I don't want that happening. I want that guy and his dog to get safely home, but then I gotta worry about the safety of the dog, but who's gonna do anything? That situation with Danny was messed up there in Hood River. The situation with a lot of my predators there in Hood River, as well as a lot of people who have mental issues. I take a lot of abuse over what's on the internet. I also take a lot of abuse in real life. I try to show you why being forced to go to these places is not conducive to assistance. When you got meth addicts and alcoholics who are constantly coming in and bombarding you for help, when there's somebody who needs real help, you just kind of tend to them as if they were drug addicts or alcoholics. Y'all ever seen of mice and men? And I get to tend the rabbits. A lot of people who argue that all homeless people should be shot. I don't believe so. But one of those arguments is that it's merciful. That's actually the only argument that holds any water. That's the same argument for assisted suicide. Is that it's more merciful. I begged people to kill me for over a year before Natalie was killed. Over the hell that I was going through at the hands of the police, as well as a whole bunch of druggies and addicts. For those of you who wanted to argue a distinction as if your philosophical understanding detracts from the fact that they still did the same thing. Good intentions don't win wars. When you've got defections due to cowardice, stupidity, or addiction, and these cowards and these addicts, it's their lives that are at stake as well. Someone calling herself Jessica Aguilar put some sort of little symbol down. I don't know what it means. It's a loading thing of some sort for a camera, I think, but I don't know. It might be one for this, but in either event, if I go to the cops, I'm going to get treated like an addict. It's not going to help my case if I go in with someone who is on drugs or alcohol. You got to see how the situation with Drew worked out. I got recordings of the actual situations with Drew, but nobody cared to go with me. Nobody sober actually tried to help. Most of these people, I mean, the last time they were sober, for some of them, was before I was born. Or I suppose the last time they were in rehab or jail or prison. I take a lot of abuse for helping people, but also a lot of those people offered to help me, and it just doesn't end up being them helping me. It ends up being me helping them. I know what happens if they end up dead, and it terrifies me. I also know what happens if I lose this evidence. I wasn't able to pay the bill on my Google One. I was prompted to do that by Megan Missigatis. We were going to try to turn it in. And for months and months and months and months and months, being forced into one fucked up situation after another and having to record them. People want to be angry because I recorded them, but I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to record the fact that I have no one to go to except alcoholics and drug addicts. Meanwhile, I'm being victimized by drug addicts and alcoholics. Some of them don't intend on doing it even. Some of them don't intend on robbing me of time and robbing me of hope. And I got to hear of in the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, from people who can't stop drinking, can't stop doing the drugs. But if you keep saying in the name of Jesus, maybe somebody will help. Well, no. No, if they were going to help, they would have done so. If they cared, they would have done so. You get to hear from, well, 2 grown men in 2 weeks. 3 of them, counting myself, speaking about our experiences being raped. But no, that doesn't happen to men, does it? We gotta go to the back of the bus. We must have wanted it, needed it, chose it, or deserved it. Meanwhile, predators bombarded my evidence to this day, trying to get rid of it, trying to get me put on a Facebook ban, or get all of my evidence destroyed. How can I go to the cops when they treat me like an addict? How can I go to addicts when their addictions prevent them from doing anything? And then there's the harm to others that comes from those addictions and the selfishness inherent in those who have such addictions, especially when on their substances or, of course, when in need of it. I remember how much it hurt when I quit drinking. I remember how extremely painful it was. I was living over at the basement house with Phil McPhee and Jeremiah Jensen and Christopher Burns. I was the only one paying my rent money, except I was paying it to Phil McPhee. The light bill was in my name. And of course, I am a sponge for everything around me. And there's screaming, and there's shouting, and there's hatred, and I am stuck smack dab in the middle of it. I gotta worry about conserving every damn thing because I have no renewable resources. I can't bring people back from the dead, and I never claimed that I could. Besides that, I've read Mary Shelley's book. It's a bit different than any of the movie renditions. Please no.
My Bibles, my histories, all that stuff. Everything's fucking done.
That reminds me, I want to thank Gary from the Seventh-day Adventist Church for bringing me a Bible. It's not the version I prefer reading, but that doesn't mean that it's not well-intentioned, and it doesn't mean I won't try to read it. I used to read the book every day. Every single day. I never blamed any of my decisions on God. I always give Christians the opportunity to show me their Jesus. I don't mean literally present Jesus himself in front of me. I mean, show me you truly believe. There isn't one believer. Not one. But sure, okay, you're not Jesus, so that makes it acceptable, right? That shit freaks me out. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Of all of the fights that I should not have won and did, are the ones where I absolutely decimated an opponent who was far larger than me. Because I was petrified. I was too petrified to move, and then they came at me. And I got really fucking lucky. You can't turn in the cops for the cops. They'll make fun of you. They'll laugh at you. They'll do everything that they can to prevent you from doing so, up to and including pressing false charges.
Yeah. 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 Good. You got Waylon there that's gonna sit down. Good. Tired of you fucking my shit up, bud. Good.
What scares me the most about most of these situations is that lives would have been saved if I'd have been heard. But I don't have the same options as most.
Home. Want to say hello? Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, he's checking his email.
Right?
Right.
Well, he's free to come up here and get some lovin's again. I'm absolutely down with that.
He checked. Oh, he's
Has he dropped his deucers
He's
yet?
leaving an email.
Good morning. That is not yours. You know what sucks about that is that after you just pissed on my tire, now I have to piss on it.
Get over here.
I don't really feel like urinating on my own tire right now.
Say good morning. You fucked my house up, dog. What's he good morning?
Good boy. Oh, yes.
And he's funny.
You gonna come get some lovin's?
That's what he does.
What was his name again?
Scotchin.
Huh?
Scotchin.
Stochin. That is a tough one to remember. What does it mean?
It's from one that watches overall. That's what it means.
Well, he's definitely making sure that his piss
He
leaks
got
in.
he got some emails on your rig. He's doing emails.
He's got an ammonia deposit on my rig,
Good
along with some
golly.
pheromones and hormones that mark it as what he believes is his.
Boom.
Now, what I should have done right then and there is get out and alpha his sorry ass. But you know what? I'm a lot kinder than that because I don't care.
Find my backy bag.
It's just a car, as long as he doesn't piss on me. Now, if he pisses on me, I will hold him down and piss on his head.
Sucks. Oh, I had Doa. She come in on the passenger side. She sat down. She's all, "Can I watch a movie with you?" I go, "Yeah." I was starting a movie. She said, "What the fuck is that?" It's a fucking pile of shit. I just got off work. I was working at Center Market, and they let me park in the parking lot. And she sat on a pile of shit, and I go, "I didn't know he fucking shit there. I don't fucking bring out my boxes until the end of the day, right? Because when he sees me, he starts squeaking in. He does this thing. Get over here.
Stochin. Yeah. Well, I got a lot of anxiety.
Bridges and everything. Fucking her muff's like this.
I don't need to hear that.
She got big old muff. Holy shit.
See, now this right here is entirely counterproductive.
Oh.
Entirely counterproductive.
Stay there.
I'm still grateful you exist.
I love you, bro.
Are you sure?
I'm a really hateful person. Yeah, but I'm a killer and a headhunter. Yeah, but there's other stuff.
The whalers.
I'm a headhunter.
Well, you were showing me the terrain on your tattoo, where you're from, and you were telling me about the heads on the beach. You told me that story.
I ain't scared.
Stay off our beach. I get it.
Hey, you better watch out for me. You want someone fucked up.
Sir, I know people far more scary than you.
Something bad to you, and you want something done to them. Guess what? You call my name. I'm gonna come.
I had a lot of people tell me that. I don't call in those favors. I want to turn these people in and make the example. I don't want people dead. I don't want people murdered. I don't want people in the ground.
No, it's their soul that you take out. It's a soul that you take out. When you take their heads off, it's a soul.
Chris Stegman says to me, there's nothing makes a statement like a severed head. The thing is, I'm against that. You don't
kill the person. You take their soul out and you look them eye to eye and you take their head off. Look them eye to eye, and when the head comes off, when my head comes off, you look them eye to eye. You tell them, why did you have to do this? You're going here. You're going here.
When I was speaking to you yesterday and you had a bit of different intake, you were speaking a lot more understandably.
What, am I wicked today?
Yes, but you're not being mean or evil, although your angry just a few minutes ago was pretty angry. It was, and it gives me a lot of anxiety. For me to try to recover that, it takes 24 to 48 hours.
I apologize for that.
Well, I know you don't mean it intentionally. I know it's the oxygen deprivation, and that comes from long-term addiction. I know that you're fighting it, and you're doing the best that you can, but sometimes you can't. I know. I got friends of mine that told me for over 2 decades trying to quit until they died.
He's saying drinking shine.
I also know people who tried drugs once and ended up dead. So
Watch it. Fuck it.
there's a girl in Sydney, Nebraska. She died when she was 16 years old from drinking herself to death, got alcohol poisoning. They were able to bring her back. And then, of course, she's telling people the story about, I don't know, for about 2 years, I suppose, people were telling me about how annoying this girl was because she survived dying. Oh my
Shit,
goodness.
I died a few times. About 6 times.
A lot of people out here
it's
been
weird,
dead.
though. I don't like to get into it because it's a long journey. Every journey that I went through. But I really don't. I wish I had this boat. I wish I was on the river on it. I want to sand it down.
Yeah. Well, you know, a heat gun will work better on that. That's ABS.
Huh?
I said a heat gun will work better on it. It's ABS.
Are you trying to get rid of it?
No, I was saying if you use a heat gun on it, it'll bring the natural sheen out of it. It'll take all them dents, or well, I guess they're not dents. They're gouges from running into rocks and stuff. But
Are you trying to get rid of it?
no. Preferably, I'd like to have that be the base of a houseboat. We get a few people out on the ocean. They don't want homeless people anywhere. They're trying to push us out into the sea. That right there is a good start.
I'll fucking bust out my 30. I'll bust out my 20. Whatever.
See, I'll stay away from
I got a
guns.
45. It's got
See,
a scope.
all right, so when you was telling me you could get me guns last night and I could take care of it, all you had to do was go right across the street. That's the same almost everywhere I go. People tell me, man, I'll give you a gun if you go kill those people. I'll give you a gun if you go kill those people. And I tell them no. I always tell them no. And they always talk about the violent things that they would do. And I tell them no. I always tell them no.
I ain't telling you. You come over my property, you can fuck anything up on my property. Yeah, I'm gonna fucking blow your ass down.
Well, I don't want you to offer to remove heads for me and take their souls.
I ain't gonna do that.
Good. Thank you.
You know, I ain't gonna do that.
I know you was probably just venting, you know, the frustration of it, but I live the frustration of it, and I also seen me enough bodies that shit scares me.
Well, you got quite the knot here. How do you do this one? Well, that's different.
I got
Look at this knot.
a little brother, a little sister, and yeah, that's a figure 8. They use that for tying up your own harness for rappelling. You want me to slide that out so you can put it on and go free climb?
What?
Well, I guess it ain't free climbing with that on there, would it be?
Then I gotta go topping again.
So you see how difficult it is for me to get help out here, and how a lot of people out here with addictions mean well, but the ones who don't mean well, they just keep on at me. Being at risk just makes you a target, and it's not something you ask for. Addictions make you a target too, and a lot of times people who have addictions, they take it out on whoever they think they can take it out on, whoever's lowest on the totem pole. Shit rolls downhill. You've been good to me, and Cheryl too. I got water in here because of you guys. I was able to park somewhere where I felt reasonably safe last night. The parts where I was afraid of, you know, when you were so drunk. I was afraid for your safety. I wasn't afraid of you hurting anybody. You were well past the point of being able to hurt anybody last night. I just wanted to make sure you didn't freeze, didn't get run over, and didn't end up with head trauma. And you already got head trauma.
I got, it's all fractured. My whole head is just fractured.
Brandon Ratner had to go through that too.
It's crazy.
Well, that man with the dog who was looking for the meth is now going over to the, I shouldn't call it the KKK church, because you said it's only the Monday meetings that are KKK, right?
But we don't know. How are you supposed to know? How you gonna know? Did you chub?
Well, by going in there and finding out,
Oh, then
except
you
I make
chub
it too public, I'm sure the KKK knows I'm here. I make too much noise.
Circled me up there in the parking lot right there.
Yeah.
They walked me up the staircase, everything out in me. They wouldn't accept me, wouldn't let me say anything. It was the weirdest meeting ever.
Yes, sir.
It was. Because I got my own problems. I'm trying to quit, you know, and I show up at meeting. That's what I come across. Come across what the heck?
You're not in a situation that's conducive to quitting, and that's something that sucks too. How do you quit when you're around the same people?
It doesn't bother me. I mean, I wish I had some old moonshine we had.
Well, if it didn't bother you, then why do you go to the meetings?
Oh.
If it doesn't bother you, why do you go to the meetings? If it's not a problem, why go to meetings?
I know what I'm trying to work through, and you know, denial or aggravation, or you know, all.
And that right there is a much more valid reason.
And
if it helps you, do it. I went to an AA meeting. It absolutely helped me. I'm not going to listen to that wine tip bullshit.
It does.
I know all about the lives ruined by the people that go to those meetings. And I know that in the 12 steps, making amends is supposed to be one of them steps, and those people don't try to make amends. They expect forgiveness is what they do.
7 years I've been working on that now. I'm still working on it.
You know what the problem is with having a loved one who's an addict, a loved one who's addicted to drugs or alcohol? And they go to those meetings, is that those people are addicted to love. They still love that addict. They still love that person despite the fact that they became the drug. You don't need a preaching right now.
Oh, you got my roots.
I do. It's good luck, ain't it?
They're gonna catch some fish. That's a good one.
Yeah, only if Jesus throws me some tag-alongs, but me and he ain't exactly on good terms because he's not stopping these people who are murdering in his name. Them Muslims are human too.
What's that?
I said them Muslims are human too.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus weren't a hateful motherfucker.
No.
He served mankind. That's what he did. He also broke all the rules. If he was in any time other than right after the Romans took that shit over, he'd have been killed by the Romans later on. He'd have been killed by the Jews in earlier times. The only thing that kept Jesus alive with his teachings was the fact that the Romans and the Jews were still at having a periodic war.
That was a big battle.
A lot of big battles, a lot of little battles, a lot of guerrilla warfare. The Romans got so fucking sick of Israel. It's all that guerrilla warfare. And then, of course, when it came to the temple, my God, those Romans didn't know what they were up against. When they finally stormed the Temple Mount, man, that was days and days and days of battle. We even have some accounts because of Josephus. He tells us about the siege. He also tells us about the siege of Masada. Sorry, not Josephus. The siege of Masada was at 79 AD. And that was quite a while after Jesus was dead. But the people who wrote about the situations with Jesus, there's actually only one of the Dead Sea Scrolls that was ever found that could have been written in Jesus' lifetime.
4 days back.
But not necessarily. And that's the book of Judas. But the book of Judas, as you can see, is not in the Bible. And of course, the Catholics, if you read the book of Judas, apparently you're sacrilegious and against Catholicism and therefore against God and a bunch of other crap. Just stupid religious dogma. The same dogma that makes it okay for Catholic priests to rape little kids.
They get paper for me.
You may.
Fucking letters. Fuck.
You understand, though, why I'm afraid?
He's like a bouncer at a strip show. Fucking bounce me up. You're not welcome here.
Here you go, Otter. Yeah, he's not welcome in here either. I'm flagging him off.
They kicked me out. They had a bouncer.
He was coming into the carrier crooked, so I waved him off. Here you go.
He was like a bouncer. I had people, they apologized and stuff. It's like, I come in because my mom, she just had her stomach just cut wide open and took all her guts at 6.
I got to be honest with you. I got to find help, and I have to find it. It's an emergency, and I'm not trying to hate on you. I'm really not, but I need to try to get somebody else to help because you're not sober enough to right now. Also, I really, really, really super need to pee, but I'm not abandoning you. I'll be back. I know that Cheryl was saying that she would help me today, and I believe that she will. So I
Of course she will.
want to make sure I go pee first. And I want you to understand it's not anything personal against you. I know what it's like to... I know what it's like.
I can't help someone else.
You're in need yourself. You're stuck in your own survival mode and stuck in your own trauma, and you're in an environment where trauma is often infrequent and you have to try to drown it out. Well, congratulations. That sucks. Same boat we're all in. That doesn't mean you're not a person, and I'm thankful that you exist. You have helped me repeatedly. You know, that's the thing, is that your alcoholism doesn't prevent you from caring at all.
No, I help with anyone, everyone. I try the best I can.
The only issue is the follow through.
You know, if I only here for one moment. Everyone else here for a moment, but they should be happy and safe. Should be, you know, truthful, should be full.
Well, I figured I'd stick around here until Cheryl woke up and see what she wants to do. But I really need to pee. I'm gonna go over to the skate park, but I'll be right back. I'll see about bugging them. Like I said, I only got 3 hours of sleep. I was almost asleep last night. I was watching Andromeda and half dozed out in the middle of it when you knocked on my window. And then when I told you 10 minutes, and then when I got out, you were laying on the ground over there. I might have to pee in my pee container because I don't know if I'll be able to get out of my vehicle. We'll see if I'm able to drive. Yes, sir. I know you don't make things complicated intentionally. I understand where you're at, and I'm thankful for what you've done for me. Where is she? You look like you're searching for Cheryl. You was looking every which direction. I wasn't sure. Yes, sir. All right. Yes, indeed. I am not a big country fan, but I do listen to some of it. Nostalgic shit. It's still fucking horrible to my ears, but it's nostalgic, so I listen.
I was like, I go like this. I go booty call. It looks like a push.
Yeah, well, last night I could see her full on back crack. Like your pants were dropped down. If they'd have been half an inch lower, I'd have seen both of your boys.
But it looks like a push.
Not to me, it don't.
It's crazy. Well, that's why I have one when we were kids. Like our dad went and did what he did for it. You know?
That's who it is most of the time, is people's dads.
Shower. We had to take a shower with it. He'd be in there doing this, you know. You know, brother. I think a few other times. I ain't sorry. Go ahead. It's fine.
When I was 13, that's when it stopped. When I was 13, I was still pretty small, but I was too mean to try anything on. By that point, I'd been abused enough, been beaten up enough, been raped enough, and I had teeth, and I knew how to use them by that point.
Oh, sorry.
I was mean.
Hey, my mom. We pulled every rifle off the racks.
Well, rest assured, no matter how many times you offer to go get me guns, I will always tell you no.
Shot his side out. The whole side came out.
Of your dad?
Yeah, she pulled, I think it's 20 years. But we pulled every other rifle out off the rack. Fucking 30 out of 6 and 7. And we had a bunch of them. 30. Yeah, when we pulled the triggers, nothing went off. They were all full. We always had them loaded. Mom, she went and pulled one. Fucking blew his whole side out. His whole side. The record. The whole side. It just came out. Talking about killed him. Shit, we couldn't get out of Grants fast for nothing. We were stuck in there.
Man, that's the epicenter from what all the folks with the human trafficking and the drug trade around here, and also all the way up to Hood River. Everybody tells me about Grants Pass. They tell me to go to Grants Pass, and I gotta fucking look for the Norteños. They say if I go to Grants Pass and I find the Norteños or talk to the homeless women there.
Why? What's up with Norteño?
Well, apparently they're the ones doing the trafficking.
In Grants Pass?
Yeah. Just from what I've been hearing elsewhere, I haven't been there to investigate it myself. I don't know about full of Norteños. You don't need to be full of nothing to traffic people through there. I mean, all you need is one or two people that know what they're doing, and you can saturate an area in meth, heroin, anything. It doesn't need to, you don't need 200 Norteños in there fucking fortifying the place. That just calls attention to you. And then, of course, since it's only one or two guys bringing it in and dropping it off, they drop it off to somebody in a house. That person in the house distributes it. The people they distribute it to are probably in houses. Those people distribute it to street people and poor people. And those street people and poor people distribute it to, well, the rest of the population. Is nasty. At least when you're fucking around with booze, you're not fucking around with that. Yeah. Well, that guy yesterday, whenever he does that, or anyone else gets like that towards me, and just keep it up and over and over and over again, you know,
they're in that white rig.
Yeah. You know, I just have to keep on taking it, and people tell me I just need to brush it off or just forget about it, don't worry about it. But the thing is, I got to worry about it. I've seen enough bodies to know to worry about it.
And now look who is there. That changed me out.
Well, he's
She's
saying
young.
that that other girl is his daughter, and he's saying that the girl who was with him is his sister, and the way he was hugging up on her and being all sorts of fucking creeper status,
No,
and with them at the church, like
it's something
the
else.
the help that I got at the First Christian Church at the feed when that guy did that was for Gary to come out and say no fighting. Like I wasn't trying to fight. I wasn't the one looking for a fight. I was the one who had a fucking nut job who's obviously off of his medication. Well, I can't say off his medications. He's on drugs. You know, anybody can tell he's on fucking drugs.
He's fucking.
But I need help stopping him from doing that shit. I can't function just like you this morning doing your shouting. Eventually, I will get to the point where I scream at the top of my lungs for help because I'm scared. That does scare me. And then I scream, and people are scared of me because I'm screaming for help.
I don't mean to scream, but if I scream for help, you know I'm hurt.
Yeah, but what you were screaming about this morning wasn't. Well, it's pain. It's definitely physical pain. I get that.
I got hands that hurt. It comes.
But you also understand why it scares me,
I
right?
got bad hands that come.
Yeah, I got back problems too, and it shoots down my legs as well. You explain that to me. It
I'm not
hurts.
concrete.
You explained that as well, where it was too heavy to lift your legs. That's the way you were walking. I seen you.
Yeah, it's like concrete. That's how I feel.
Well, I get heavy lifting on my legs too. Like my legs hurt all the time, mostly from back pain, but also from getting hurt by the cops. They don't have to punch you or hurt you. They just got to try to wrench your leg off of your body. They thought I killed Natalie though.
I've been through so many fights.
Like how much of those videos last night do you remember?
No, man. No, man.
I know. I kind of figured.
Yeah.
That was part of the thing about the making the video this morning is that, like with Cheryl, she was sober and she was trying to pay attention, but the more beers you got into you, the more it was about getting attention and talking, and that's to be expected. It's one of the effects. The same thing with the. She was all right, yeah, yeah, but you were pretty well needing attention last night. The more beers you had, the more attention you needed, and the louder you got. So she had to stop looking and tend to you and try to get you to bed. And then, of course, I don't know what time it was in the morning, but you came and knocked on my window. I was almost asleep. You told me you couldn't sleep, and I got up and ready to come talk to you. And then next thing I know, you're out on the road. Since you was out on the road, I started a video. Well, I think I started it before I realized you were out on the road. But
out the road.
You was right there outside of your door, laying in the road.
Really?
No, actually, I take it back. You were near the rear of the vehicle, and we helped you up and got you to the door. And then, of course, you didn't want to get in, and you were able to get in. You got in like 2 or 3 times to put your boots in when you took them off, and also you were going to grab a soda pop, but when you went in, you apparently did something else. And then you got out again, and then you said you couldn't get in there, and then of course we were able to get you in there, and we had to help lift you up again because you fell right out into the road. Left turn, Clyde. And then, of course, when we did get you back into your rig and got the door closed, I came back into my vehicle, tried to recover from it because I'm fucking hurting unit from that. The next thing I see is you walking down the road and Cheryl's in tow and you're waddling like a toddler, and I'm like, fuck, oh my God, all right, I better get over there and at least let Miss Cheryl sit in my vehicle because it's going to take an hour to get him back to the vehicle. It took us at least 45 minutes to be able to get you into the vehicle when you were standing right at the door and we were freezing. It was tough. And she was hurting and I was hurting, and when we got down to the end there and I drove up there, you wanted a cigarette, so I tried to help you. Was gonna give you tobacco. I'm not sure if I did or not. And you went over to sit down and to roll it, and that's when she brought up the shopping cart so you'd have a walker. You did. You went down a few times.
Down.
So you woke me up, and then for like an hour, hour and a half, I was trying to help you out, and then I passed out with that same recording still going, and I woke up with it still going, and I looked through it, and it
I
was
don't mean to be like
about
that.
3 hours of sleep I got last night, between when you woke me up the first time and woke me up the second time. And I wasn't quite asleep. Like I said, I was watching Andromeda, trying to wind down from the day. When you come up and knocked on my window the first time, and I fall asleep to that sometimes. Depends on if it's all gory and stuff, because if it's all gory, I'll just fast forward through the gory parts. I like the flashy lights and stuff, but not the shooting at people and all that shit. It's not necessary. That's kind of the thing about old cowboy movies. There's never any blood. You probably should get off the road.
Yeah.
Hey, asshole, that's not yours.
He's saying something. Yeah.
No, he's saying this is my car, and it's not his car. Give me just a second. Because if you can't get off the road, I'm probably going to pee in a container in my vehicle, because I'm afraid of your dog getting tugged or stuck, and I really got to pee. All right, I'm gonna put up my blankets, because I'm seriously gonna pee myself. You pee on the road. I pee in a container. You got some. See, that's what I was asking you last night when you opened up that oldie this morning. I was asking you, are you sure that's beer? All right. All right. These different running someone over. Where'd it go? Some privacy, if you please.